Hey everyone, welcome to the Royce Reports. I am your host, Royce. And on this channel, we talk mostly Xbox related news, but I do dabble in other gaming related topics and reviews. So if you think you might be interested, then be sure to hit that subscribe button. And also, if you don't know how to wipe your ass, you're not alone. There is a community for you, and it's here. So today, I kind of want to talk about the recent Suicide Squad trailer that was at the PlayStation State of Play. Now, this kind of got me thinking about how uninspiring this game looks, how it really takes all of the elements that I hate about open world games and it applies it to a franchise that I really, really adore and love. And I feel like it's really ruining it. So because of this, I came up with 5 reasons why modern open world games are starting to feel that open world fatigue. So let's talk about it. All right, so I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna break it down for you. All right, so we have 5 reasons why I think open world games are starting to really get that fatigue to set in and really kind of not really wanting to go and be invested in these games anymore because of these reasons. So number five is going to be unnecessary RPG elements. And you're probably like, whoa, what's an open world game without being an RPG, right? Well, let me tell you, it's a lot of different things, right? You don't need to have an open world game and it be an RPG. You have great open world games that are not RPGs. And you're probably like, okay, well, name 15. Okay, well, I'll just give you one. All right, so you have like something like Red Dead Redemption 1, Red Dead Redemption 2. You also have the Grand Theft Auto series. These are games that don't rely on these open world RPG gimmicks. It is all about a narrative being told, and it is being told in an open world. And you're allowed to go and access everything in that world. You're allowed to go and, do whatever you like in this game. But there isn't that unnecessary number system that they like to play in these games. And I feel like things like Destiny and Borderlands have kind of made a lot of people want the little numbers to pop up next to people as you're doing damage to them. So that way you as a person can feel satisfied knowing that you're doing something, which is not really what you need in a game. Like I don't need to see that these random numbers that are popping up on the screen are doing anything. It's just an arbitrary number that doesn't add anything to the value of the game. It doesn't add any gameplay element that I'm like, wow, I really needed to see that. Like if you go into a game, even something like Hogwarts Legacy. Now I love Hogwarts Legacy. I'm having a great time with it. And this is a game that kind of steps away from all of what I think is wrong with gaming in terms of open world games, but they even fall suit to this as well, which is a number system. So you get gear all the time and you can go and you can add upgrades to this gear and add little trinkets and stuff, but the game is not need this whatsoever. The game is such an easy game. It is. I'm playing on normal and I can tell you right now that I have never even thought about adding a trinket to any of my stuff, right? Because it is not necessary. And I feel like even if you play it on hard difficulty, it is still not necessary. It is just a thing that these developers put there because they think that players just want to see flashing lights every single time they turn on their Xbox. And I do, but I don't want to see it on Hogwarts. I don't want to see it on these other games where it's unnecessary. And another person that does this, another game that does this, is an Assassin's Creed franchise. You have the new RPG style Assassin's Creed. Now, I like the direction that they took Assassin's Creed. I really do. I think it was a very necessary refresh for the IP. And I think that now is time for another refresh at this point. But something that they did was they had these areas that were locked off by certain levels and you couldn't progress the story unless you were a certain level. So you had to complete some more side quests and do all this other stuff. But they had all these unnecessary elements to your weapons, adding different abilities, upping your stats. If you had a secondary weapon equipped it would still up your stats even if you never used that weapon, which is something that just blows my mind. Why do I care about that? Doesn't mean anything. Just a spot for me to put a weapon just to increase my stats, which don't mean anything at all. Like, they went so far as to include Helix credits, which are credits that you can buy with real money and then use that to buy things in the game, so that way you don't have to grind as much. Like, that is because they knew the number system was a bunch of BS, and they just took it from Borderlands and Destiny, where it's implemented very well because it is needed in those games, whereas in these ones it's not very necessary. So number 4 is reach high points, so unfogging the map. Now, this was a very popular feature back around the 360 and PlayStation 3 generation, and it was really popular because of Assassin's Creed. So Assassin's Creed really took this and just went with it, and it took gaming by storm. Everybody was trying to do a reach high system because this was what gamers liked for a little bit, and I mean a little bit. And at first it was a really cool addition. I liked it because it added a little tiny side thing to the game that you're playing, but every single one that they actually had in the game was different. It felt different. It was like a mini challenge of you trying to figure out how to use your parkour and climb these different towers. And there are some areas that you had to attack at certain angles, and that's how you're able to get up it. There's other areas where you would have to go through a window and then down and then up to a ladder and all this stuff. So it made you like kind of think, and it was kind of fun to go and try to unfog the map so you could see more, right? And then Far Cry ended up adopting this as well, and Far Cry did the same thing, where as you would go and attack these towers that were your reach high points, they would have little parkour elements to it, or as you got better gear, you'd be able to use that on your climb up, and it kind of made sense. It felt like you were progressing. It has a little fun mini game to, again, unfog the map. Now, as time went on, this kind of got boring. This kind of got repetitive. It didn't really make sense anymore to keep including this in games. But nevertheless, they continued to try to shove this down our throat as much as they could. And so you even saw it in games like Horizon, right? So you have the tall necks that are walking around. You have to go run up there and grab one and climb up and do a reach high point on this. And this is a PlayStation IP, and they included that in there, which is crazy, and it's still in there to this day. And you also have things like Mad Max, which had a different take on it, which were these blimps that you could fly up high in the sky and use your binoculars and point out areas in the map to unlock them and be able to explore them. So this leads actually to my next point, which is, why did they have all of these reach high points? What was the purpose of it? Yes, it was to unfog the map, but it was also to do something else, which is my third reason: padding out the game with all these side contents and placing it on the map. So they, for some reason, think it's very necessary that you need to go find a hidden den in some unknown area, and that you cannot miss this, that you have to go and explore that den. Why? Well, because the developers don't believe that you will find it your own self. Like, that is the thing, is that developers don't believe in the gamers. Now, I get it that my IQ is pretty much the same as a potato, but I do know how to play a video game. I've been playing them for 20 something years now. So I think I can understand how to play a video game, how to get from point A to point B, and how to explore. If I'm playing an open world game, I want to be able to tackle the open world game however I see fit. That is the whole point of an open world game, to do things the way you want to do them, not the way the developers want you to do them. That literally takes away the point of even having an open world game. If you wanted me to do something per your direction, then make a linear experience and have me play it that way. But no, open world means open to whatever I want to do. So it's really annoying that these game developers don't think that I can go and find this by myself. And it just shows that they have a lack of faith in everybody. They have a lack of faith in gaming. And this actually came to light, especially when Elden Ring came out, because Elden Ring, which took the gaming world by storm, had their personal way of going about the world, which was, here you go, you're out there, you walk out there, you're just a little wee babe in the woods, and good luck. Then that's it. And whatever you find is what you find. There is no markers on the map. It is just an open map, and that is telling you kind of the direction that you need to go to complete the main story, and that is it. They put a lot of faith in gamers, and that blew people away. People were so upset by this. You had a bunch of Ubisoft developers coming out. You had a bunch of Horizon developers coming out saying that this is not how you do game design, that the UI is terrible and all this other stuff because the map and your screen didn't have 1.5 billion things on it. Like, if you would have seen Skull and Bones, the gameplay for Skull and Bones was so nauseating because they just had nothing but HUD elements all over that you didn't need to know, but they felt that you have to know all these things. So I think Elden Ring did a great thing, and it was actually a step in the right direction for gaming, because this shows developers that, hey, you can make a successful game without having to handhold your players. So I think that all of these little points of interest on the map don't necessarily need to be there. You can have people explore. Let me explore your world. Let me talk about what I found. I can go and talk to people about Elden Ring at work and be like, hey man, did you do this? Did you do that? And they'll be like, no, I'm going to go do that now. Thank you for telling me that. And they'll be like, did you do this? And I'll be like, yes, you idiot. I play games and I understand how to play them. Okay. I don't need you to tell me what to do. But thank you. And this kind of leads into the second reason, Deuce, number 2, which is padding out the game and making your game longer than is necessary. And I guess this is a sense of having players feel like they have something to do and not have people complain about a lackluster sort of world that they're in. But there is a special way of going about this, right? This isn't a way for you to have these fetch quests and stuff, right? If you see a fetch quest in your game, you know what I do? I run away. I freaking run to the highest point that I could find and I jump off it. That's what I do in your game. If you try to give me a fetch quest, or if you tell me follow this person without getting caught. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not following anybody. I don't like that. I'm not some creep. All right. If they gave me consent, then maybe. And that's just a weird foreplay. I don't care about that stuff. Gross. Get out of here. But hey, I'm sorry. Come back. Anyways, I don't really know why they feel the need to put all these unnecessary content in these games. So if you go and you look at how long it would take to beat Assassin's Creed Origins, Valhalla, Odyssey, those games are 100+ hour games. 100+ hour games for a single player game. That isn't even a true RPG. Isn't that like, you know? Doesn't that blow your mind? Like, why are these games so long? Oh, I know. Because they want you to play their game until the next one comes out. That's why. They want you to have this false sense of, wow, this game has a lot of value, when it really doesn't. When it just pads out everything. It forces you to grind to get to the next level in order to continue the story. It forces yourself to grind in order to unfog the map and reach these levels that are required of you in that area. That's what they're doing. And I don't need that. I don't need 100-hour games. Like, there are some games that I would spend 100 hours in. Like, if you check out my Fallout 3 time, my Fallout New Vegas time, I probably have over 600 hours in each of these games, because I just keep going back and playing it over and over and over again. And it's not because the game takes 100 hours to complete. It's because I go and I change up the way I play the game. I go in there and, you know, hey, this one I'm going to do just melee combat. And this one I'm going to try doing a stealth approach. And this one I'm going to focus on heavy weapons or light weapons. Or I'm going to go good karma, bad karma. However you want to play the game is up to you. And so that makes me want to play it even more. And there's even games that aren't 100 hours that are like 30 to 40 hours that are still great, and have a lot of content in them. Something like Mass Effect, for example. Mass Effect 1, 2, 3, they all take about 30 to 40 hours to complete. And this allows me to go back in and play it some more. I could go and play a Renegade. I could play Paragon. I could go and I could have this person on my squad more often, or I could take this person with me more often and achieve more dialogue options with them. I could romance this person, or I could romance that person. I could do all these different things because this game is short enough to where it values my time, but I could also run through it again and see the things that I never would have seen in the first place. And I think that is really awesome. I think that's what we need in the gaming industry, is more of those shorter, tighter experiences that allow you to go and experience more with less. And I don't need to have to get on a camel and run 50 kilometers just so I could get to a reach high point and then jump off of it so I could unfog the map, so then I could run over to go help this person deliver a letter, so then I could go walk over here and watch this guy beat his dog and then kill him, and then go over here and see that this is a jilted lover and go and tell their husband and be like, hey, your person's cheating on you. Okay, well, give me money and experience now. And then go find some random pants in some barrel and put it on and find out there's poop stains on them. But you know what? Who cares? Because it makes my stats better for this game that doesn't matter, because stats aren't a thing because it's a single player experience. But who cares, right? Who cares? So if you ever see that screen, you know that you're in trouble. And I know that there's some games that have that screen and you're like, wow, you know what? This is a good game like God of War. They have this screen. But a lot of people use this screen and it's just the most uninspiring thing I've ever seen. And even Suicide Squad, which is why I'm even talking about all this in the first place, has a lot of these issues. It doesn't give me any hope that Rocksteady, when they have a battle pass in a game that's a single player experience. Why do I need to pay for a battle pass? That doesn't make any sense. Oh man, what are they doing? This game just looks so boring. It just looks like a cookie cutter. What do we need to do in order to please the masses so that way we can continue being a studio? And I don't think Suicide Squad, I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think it's going to get very good reviews, and I don't think it's going to sell very well, because every single time they showed this game, it has looked worse and worse, and I don't understand what they're doing. But hopefully they get their head out of their ass soon. All right, but the final point that I want to bring up, which is kind of unrelated, but at the same time I want to bring it up anyways, is choices that matter. So I know, like, you're like, okay, it's open world games, they're more of linear experiences, right? But some of these open world games do add some elements of trying to make it where you believe that your choices matter. See, for example, Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Valhalla, where you have choices in those games. You could be a boy, you could be a girl, and there's certain choices that you make that affect the story, supposedly, right? But the truth is they don't. A lot of these games that say that your choice matters doesn't actually matter. I want to be able to play a game where I can actually be good or I could be bad. And I don't like when games are starting to shy away from this, and because they're trying to make it seem as, okay, well, everything's not that, dry. Everything's not black and white. And I know that, right? I know that gaming is trying to reflect the modern world a lot more than what it used to. And I don't like this route that they're taking. I want to be able to be good. I want to be able to be bad. This is why I enjoy Mass Effect. This is why I enjoy Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. This is why I enjoy Fable. Like, the whole premise of Fable is built upon this, about having your choices shape the world around you. And I know that if you actually do play the Fable games, it's not necessarily true, but there are still different things that happen when you are good and when you are evil. And the same thing goes for Mass Effect. Same thing goes for Fallout. So I want these things to actually continue to happen. I know that developers want to shy away from this because of them not really wanting to work out all the kinks of, well, if this person does this, and this is going to unlock this quest, and if this person does that, then it's going to cut off this quest, and this person can't talk to that person, and they have to cross a bunch of wires that they don't really want to cross, and I understand that. But I really hope that games go back to, hey, if you want to be a bad guy, you can be a bad guy. If you want to be a good guy, you can be a good guy. And I know that Suicide Squad is about being the bad guys, but you're being the bad guys in a good way. Mostly because they're forced to. But that is an element that I would have liked to see in this game, and I don't know if it's actually going to be that way. But if we look at Rocksteady's previous titles with the Arkham series, none of them are really like that. But that's another thing I don't understand is Rocksteady has already crafted beautiful open worlds with Batman Arkham City and Batman Arkham Knight. And despite what I think about Batman Arkham Knight, and I think it's an okay game, the open world to that game is phenomenal. And I don't even know how they're able to get that game to run on the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4, because it is so dense, it is so huge, it has a bunch of neon lights, it has constant rain, you have wind flapping the bat suit, and it just looks so gross, just like how Gotham should be. And they already have the elements that they need for success in their own title. So I don't know why they're doing what they're doing now. And I'm not saying that there's reach high points in Suicide Squad. I'm not saying that at all. But there is something here that they have that is just missing. Every time I see the gameplay, it looks so uninspired and lackluster that I'm not looking forward to it. And I really do hope that I'm wrong. But every sign points otherwise. It looks like they have another Avengers type game on their hands, and that is never a good thing. But maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. Tell me what you guys have been playing. You know, I've been playing some really fun games. I've been playing Hogwarts Legacy, and I didn't really think I was going to get into that, but I am actually having a lot of fun with that. I just beat Dead Space not too long ago, and I need to go back and play Callisto Protocol, which I'm not looking forward to, but I need to go back and complete that. And I'm playing the SpongeBob game. I don't even remember what it's called. Cosmic Shake. That's what it is. I'm playing SpongeBob Cosmic Shake, and that game is not very good. It is nothing like Battle for Bikini Bottom, and I'm very, very upset by that. I kind of wanted it to be similar to that, and instead it's just these long, drawn-out levels that I'm not really having a lot of fun in. But what are you guys playing? Are you guys interested in any of the games coming to Game Pass, or any upcoming games? Let me know in the comment section below. And what do you think about the list? Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I an idiot? Am I cute? Hit you with the Riz. Let me know in the comment section below. I appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll be seeing you guys on the next one. Remember, take it easy.